Winter Jam. We're what, 3 shows in already? It's hard to believe that it's already here, but I mean, this is your first full run on Winter Jam. You did a couple dates last year, I think, or the year before, but this is your first full run on this tour. How has it been?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I'm just really excited, one, to do new music and to just have a stage to do it on. So
Yeah,
just to be out and be able to do that has been great.
sure. Awesome. I mean, you've done some bigger tours in the past. Obviously, you did some Winter Jam last year. You did the tours with Toby. How did those tours and those runs prepare you for the size and magnitude, and just the machine that is Winter Jam? This isn't like any other tour. It's heavier. It's a heavier schedule. It's a shorter set, but a heavier schedule. Big arenas. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's been awesome. His season was pretty similar. Just
Yeah.
the crowd size and being able to be with all those different artists and even time slot and all of that.
Yeah.
It was pretty similar, but being able to be on this, it's just kind of a nostalgic thing for me because
Yeah.
growing up and going to church and being a part of youth group and all that stuff, being able to be a part of a tour that meant so much to my childhood, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And being able to stand alongside artists that I've seen perform many times. It's been fun, and every step is a preparation step. So
Right.
doing all those tours has led us to now, and then these tours will lead us to something bigger and something intentional down the road. So it's just been fun to be a part of all of it throughout the years, and this one is a big one for sure.
Yeah, this one is really. I mean, every Winter Jam has an eclectic lineup, but and every year there's veteran artists and newer artists. Winter Jam is famous for helping launch a lot of careers, but this year more so because you've got a group like Newsboys United, which is nostalgic for like literally everybody in the arena. Then you've got new artists like yourself, and then you've got Dan and Manic Drive, which they're not new by any stretch. But I mean, who are some of the artists that you were looking forward to seeing on this run, and who are some of the ones that have kind of just like really stepped it up on the first couple nights?
Yeah, I'm really, really glad that we get to be with all kinds of different artists,
Yeah.
and for me, I really love. I get to share a bus with Peter Fuller, and he's like the coolest guy ever. I really, really like him, and just as a person, he's been really, really sweet to me. So
Nice.
I just really like talking to him and seeing him in the hallway, and I know that he started something so beautiful, and just being able to watch him on stage too, and all those guys do their thing, that is so nostalgic, just like you said. Also, I really love Jen Ledger. She's really, really
Yeah.
sweet and just a very deep person, and just has a humble spirit, and
Hmm.
she's just so courageous and brave to, man, she's killing it, doing her
Yeah.
own thing and being
Yeah.
a part of Skillet and doing this too. And so just props to her for doing that. And
Hmm.
my friend Ty Brazel, he is on Four Against Five, one of my friend's labels that's associated with Word Entertainment.
Sure.
And he's a hip hop artist out on the road with us, and
Nice.
he's so awesome. Man, he's just like the kindest guy ever, and I've known him on and off for the last couple of years, and so seeing him on this tour is really fun and getting to chat with him. So it's a great lineup, man, and we're just excited to be out.
Yeah, it's. I think it's gonna be. This is like my seventh or eighth time going to Winter Jam this year, which it's hard to believe that it's been that many, and it always comes faster every year too. It seems like it's Winter Jam time again. But is it hard to for you? Is it hard to believe that it's been almost 2 years since One Way Conversations came out? I mean, it seems like just yesterday that you were launching and that you were on Toby's record, and then this record came out, and now we're 2 years into it. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, it is crazy. I mean, yes and no, just because, and I'm sure you can attest to this as well. I mean, when you go through a season that feels like, oh man, this is so big, and this is what's gonna happen, and it's gonna be awesome, and then it kind of like it does really well. I felt like that was One Way Conversations. It set me kind of in a place where, okay, this girl is doing something different, and there's a lot of different sounds that are on this project, and it was just kind of the first time I was putting out something that was a little more in tune with what I wanted to say and my voice, and finding that, and it was kind of a mile marker in my journey. And from that point on, honestly, it kind of opened a new can of worms for me personally, because I right after that release, my life started getting really weird. And God just kind of took me on this journey, and we've been figuring it out the last couple
Right.
years, because ever since I released that, I think I just kind of stepped into a new place in my own life of like, okay, I'm going to start to question the lines here when it comes to Christian music and
Mhm.
secular, like what that means. Because ever
Yeah.
since I released that, everyone around me started asking me, well, you know, what kind of music do you want to release? Like mainstream music or Christian music? And I hate those labels,
Yeah.
just
Me
for
too.
my own life, because I don't really see the difference in something that is that I produce. I'm not saying
Mhm.
that I can tell the difference between like a Lil Wayne song and Hillsong. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I'm
Right.
just saying I can't tell when I write something if I can label that secular or sacred, because to me, everything in my life is revolving around the common theme of, okay, I'm a daughter of Christ, but also like I'm not going to ignore like none of this other stuff in my life is happening. So for me, it was really a mile marker to say, okay, I was really vulnerable in some of these songs, and now what's the next step? And I just had to
Right.
start answering some really tough questions and asking myself those questions as
Mhm.
well of who is Hollyn? What does Hollyn want to put out? What does she want to say? And why does she want to say those things? So it's just been fun to see just the evolution of that project, and then where I am now and what we're putting out, and the whole journey has just been pretty insane
Yeah.
to walk.
It's been really cool. And I mean, I think Jen Lender is a perfect example of that, where, she released her EP last year, I think it was last year, and it's gotten a lot of obviously Christian attention, but it's also gotten a lot of mainstream attention as well. Obviously, with that being her connection with Skillet, but that group and her especially, I mean, you release music, and it doesn't matter whether it's a Christian or a non-Christian or an atheist that's going to pick up on it. That's really the point of what we do as Christians and Christian artists, is to not really break over, but to reach the people that haven't heard it or are unreached, because that's what we're called to do. So
Yeah,
I don't like the label Christian or non-Christian. Music is music, and whether it's a Christian lyric or a metaphorical Christian lyric or from the scripture or not, if it's meant to reach
yeah.
somebody, they'll get it, and that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, for sure. And I honestly don't even think it's about like, I even like the crossover thing is like
Hmm.
so people say that all the time, but it's like, why do I need to go somewhere else?
Right.
Like, I just feel like if I'm planted somewhere, I'm not talking about an industry, because that's business, and business is one thing, but I'm just talking about me as an artist and what I'm putting out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to compromise myself in a Christian industry or in a mainstream industry, because whether we like it or not, there's always someone that's calling the shots based on like what's popular or
Yeah.
what's new or what's going to hit or what's going to sell. But for me, I would much rather just put out art that, man, is just genuine to me, and I don't want to compromise my own voice, because I think
Exactly.
a lot of the time what we do is we want to, chase the dollar subconsciously, or we want to kind of put out what's going to get played or what's going to get us a good slot or
Mhm.
what's going to get us on a certain tour, and that's fine. That's all great and dandy. But for me, I would much rather just be honest to, my creative voice and what I feel like
Yeah.
God has put in me, and that's okay if it doesn't catch on at first. Like, I'm okay with that. I'd much rather be fulfilled creatively than try to chase something that just leaves me unsatisfied. So it's been a cool journey, man, and being able to put out music that I really love and I'm proud of.
Yeah, and being on Goatey, I mean, a label like that with on Toby's label, he almost seems like a miracle musical spiritual mentor to you in a lot of ways. I mean, you guys have been connected really since, for a long time now. I mean, being on a label like Goatee, you could be on any label that there is. You could be on Word or Atlantic, but being on a label like Goatee with him really helping guide things and being involved, how much has that helped you as an artist?
Yeah, I mean Toby's awesome, and Goatee's great, man. They're
Mhm.
independent labels, so
Yeah.
being on a label like that is I think much better than a bigger label in some ways, just because the attention to really, I don't know, just being mindful of someone's heart.
A little
Like
bit more creative freedom.
I don't want to be, yeah, well that, and I just don't want to be I don't want to just be an artist. Like I want to be Holly, not just Hollyn. Like I want to
Right.
be healthy. And so for an artist to run a label, that's what's different. It's almost in some ways it's closer to being independent artists than really being tied to a big label, because
Yeah.
they listen to the artist's voice, not just, oh, we want to put out this song. Like, no, I need a break. Like
Yeah.
I need rest, or I
Yeah.
need to do this. And so they're very mindful of that,
Yeah.
and very kind people. And
Yeah.
business is business, but at the end of the day, I'm grateful for them and all they've
Yeah.
done for me, and the family that's been built there. So yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, I think it's really good to be on a label run by artists because these big labels, whether it's Epic or Roadrunner or Atlantic, they're run by these label execs that they're sitting in office. They're not out on the road. You guys are the ones that are in front of the fans and meeting the fans every night and one on one and having that connection. So you know what we want to hear. You know what we're looking for, what we're searching for. You meet these fans before the shows, they tell you their stories, and that's where that connection is. So it's really good to be, involved with people that actually kind of know what that's like, because that's where the music is going to mean more, because you can really, there's a lot of creativity there, I feel like. So I mean, I just feel like that would help.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I can't speak for. I've never been signed to a major label
Right.
like Atlantic or something, which
Yeah.
is, I think those labels are awesome because
Yeah.
they have their pros and cons, like everything
Hmm.
does. But I mean, just like business wise, or the money to back you, or whatever. And I know a ton of people that have signed to big labels like that, and it's all kind of the same beast. But you just kind of got to pick, where you feel comfortable and where you want to go next. And
Yeah.
just to have anybody support and encouragement, and just to hear your voice is a big deal. So
Oh yeah.
I'm just really excited to be able to put out the music that I love, and for people to champion that and support it.
Absolutely. And I mean, I know we're in the beginning stages of Winter Jam. You guys are off, I think, until Thursday when you hit Evansville, which you started down south, and now you're getting up into the part of the country where Winter Jam can really live up to its name. It's like 20 degrees up here right now in Indiana, so it's
Oh
awful.
man.
It's awful. But I know we're early in the tour, but have you started thinking about what the rest of the year is going to look like for you after Winter Jam is over? I know we're 2 years removed from the debut. Have you started looking at what another record could look like, or more music or more tours after this is up?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we're always thinking about how do we dream, and how do we look toward the future, but also be present in right now. And I think for us, we're excited to put out some more music this year for sure, but also to bounce off the music that we just released in the last couple
Mhm.
months.
Right.
So I released 4 songs, 2 sets of singles. That was super fun to do and do visuals for, and worked really hard on communicating that and the stories that I've lived the last
Mhm.
couple of years for fans, and for people to kind of get an inside glimpse into that. So, and yeah, we've got a lot of plans for the summer. We're going to Europe this summer, doing some shows
Nice.
in Norway and Sweden, and
Wow.
trying to get some more over there, and doing some fun stuff this spring, hopefully, maybe on the West Coast. Just
Awesome.
trying to get things nailed down, and
Sure.
just very excited for the fall and potentials that are there as well. So, it's just kind of the beginning of the year, and
Yeah.
looking and seeing what this year feels like and what it's for,
Right.
and just being wise in that as well. So we're excited for whatever that looks like.